What's going on, folks? So we're coming to you from the gun room again, and I want to talk about virtue signaling in the gun community. Okay, I'll make a lot of videos on my channel. I like TSOS firearms from Turkey, and I'll get the occasional comment that you know, I'm not buying Turkey and this and that, and I'll go off slave labor and yada 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 yada, and I always hit them back with I'm not buying Turkey and all this kind of shit. Okay, fine. If that's, listen, I will never tell anybody how to spend their money. I will suggest, usually if they ask or I'll make a video, I'll suggest, hey, you can save a lot of money by buying this gun as opposed to this gun, and the only difference is the name brand. But if you don't want to buy Turkish firearms, that's fine. But don't come into my comments and be shitty about it. And let me get this straight. I'm not butthurt about it. I don't care what you spend your money on. I really don't. But don't waste my time and come into my comments and say that type of stuff the way you say it. If you want to see the way you say it, I'm going to put this comment right here. This is the way you do it. He talks about he'd rather support American industry and all that other kind of stuff. That's 100% valid. Do it like that. Don't come in screaming, you know, F you and F Turkey and blah, blah, blah. Because let me tell you something. If you think your shit don't stink when it comes to your guns and all the other stuff in your life, you better reassess that. Because right now, this phone I'm filming it on and the phone you're watching it on is probably made with Chinese slave labor, especially if you got an iPhone. And if you say, well, I don't have an iPhone, I got Samsung, it's made in Japan and all that. Well, I don't know exactly where it's made, and I'm not sure that's made with slave labor. But you know all those rare earth metals that are in that phone that you have or that TV that you're watching it on? You know, like platinum, palladium, cobalt, all that other kind of stuff, the batteries that you have. All that. You know where that stuff comes from? Yeah, it's mined in Africa by children and adult slave labor. It's a fact. Look it up. If you drive an electric car, all your batteries in your electric car have cobalt, platinum, palladium, all these other kind of rare earth metals that are mined out of Africa with child and adult slave labor. There are literally people there with guns hovering over them while they dig. And a lot of those companies that own that are Chinese companies. You can't get away with it. Look around you. Look around you, and our lives are full of foreign-made Chinese stuff. All right, it's not my fault that the politicians and stuff ruined the American industrial capacity, industry, whatever it is. They killed the American car industry. They've done all that stuff. So sometimes you got to go other places, and especially now with the economy being so crappy, you got to save every dollar you can. So if you can get a full-size TSOS 1911 for $350, or a Colt for $900, and I've done reviews on it, and the TSOS is better made quality. It's a better gun for $350 than the $900 to $1,000 Colt. Why would you not buy it? If you don't want to, that's fine. You spend your money on the Colt. I bought both, so I know what I'm talking about here. And that's fine if you want to spend your money on it. I don't tell people how to spend their money. But if you're going to come in screeching about, I'm not buying this and that, but let's focus on because of what Turkey did and what their government did. And I'm not advocating for that. To tell you the 100% truth, I don't give a shit because every country, to include ours, and this is America, and I love America, and so I can talk shit about America. I serve this country. I can talk shit about this country because it's my country. But I get it. Don't let other people talk shit about us. All right? But you don't think every single country, to include our country, has a jaded past when it comes to weapons manufacturers? People out there that might be watching us collect old World War II German guns. After what the Germans, a lot of those were made with slave labor, Jewish slave labor. And you collect those, but you're going to come into my comments section and say, screw Turkey, because they're again, while typing it on your phone made with slave labor. And then you go and get in your Tesla and you drive to work with the batteries made from slave labor. I'm just saying, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying all that shit is horrible. But you got to recognize you're going to either deal with it, or what are you going to do? You're going to live in a freaking hole? Because everything, let me get back to weapons because I got sidetracked here. Do you own Mosin Nagants and AKs and all this stuff, CZ-75 surplus ones from communist Czechoslovakia after what they did to their people, after what the Russians did, after Stalin killed 16 million people, or whatever the hell they said his numbers were, throwing them in the gulag and Siberia and all that kind of stuff, and you own their weapons, and you come into my comments and you complain about Turkey. But at the same time, Turkey's a member of NATO or whatever, and I'm not defending Turkey. I really don't care about Turkey. I look about the price of the gun and whether I like it and whether I can afford it. I really don't care where it comes from. I don't give a shit about their politics because I know every country's shit stinks. Everybody's got a bad background. And then when it comes to making, firearms, same thing. They were either made with slave labor, or do you collect Civil War firearms? That, our country owns slaves. We have a very dark past, like every country. Every single country does. So wherever you buy your guns from, whether it's American guns or German guns, do you collect Japanese World War II guns? Let me ask some of you guys that. Do you collect Japanese World War II guns? Nambus, baby Nambus, Arasakas, and all that other kind of stuff. Were those weapons used to kill the Chinese when they did the rape of Nanking and they were chopping people up? The Japanese are guilty of horrific war crimes. But you'll have some of those guns in your safe, and you'll get on my comment section and try to chastise me about buying Turkish guns. Again, if you do not want to buy Turkish guns, I don't care. I don't care what your issue is with it. It's perfectly valid for you. I just want you to recognize that you are virtue signaling. And I want you to recognize that all you have to do is dig a little bit into your safe, and you're going to find guns that come from countries that did foul shit to people, like you guys are claiming that Turkey is doing to their people now. And they probably are. I have no doubt about that. But when you're buying, Egyptian Mahdis and all these other guns, and again, I can't overstate it. Every government has done foul shit to their people or another country. And they've used those guns to do it, mostly, those weapons to do it. But you'll buy those and collect those, and then you get pissed and come into my comment section and leave a shitty comment when I review a TSOS. But here's the other thing too that'll kill me. I know some of you own Canics out there. And newsflash, Canic is from Turkey. But if you remember back a decade plus, whatever it was when Canics first started coming in, and they're just Walther clones, by the way. When Canics first started coming in and they were super cheap, Canics were like $200 guns when they first started coming in. And people didn't know who they were, what they were. They started buying them, started getting good reviews, taking them to the range, like, oh crap, these actually work, and they're actually good guns. And now, a decade plus later, Canic has established itself as a legitimate gun company. And people aren't shitting on them with Turkish guns, but they're trying to shit on TSOS and SAR and some of these other guns. I'm letting you know right now, regardless of whether it's slave labor, whether it's inflation, whatever the reasons are, whether it's wages aren't paid or whatever, Turkey, pay attention to them, because their small arms industry is killing it right now when it comes to value for money, when it comes to quality, reliability, when it comes to innovation. They are making a lot of stuff that a lot of American companies are sitting back on their laurels. I mean, not their lawyers, probably their lawyers too, but their laurels. Okay? In the case of Colt, I love Colt. At the time of filming this video, I have 8 Colt 1911s, 8. So I like Colt. People, if you're familiar with my channel, you know what my problem with Colt is. I want them to do better. I want them to bring back that American know-how and ingenuity. I want you to put out the best freaking quality gun you can and put America all over that son of a bitch and say this was made by Americans in America. But they're not even owned by Americans anymore. They're owned by the Czechs. They're owned by CZ. Okay? And then you've got problems with, in case you guys didn't know this, okay? Colt has union workers. Their union is the UAW, the United Auto Workers. And I'm not shitting on union people. I'm just telling you, they're union workers. So they're probably overpaid, and they probably don't, not probably, I've seen the quality come out. They don't give a shit what they put out. They just don't freaking care what they put out, because some of the shit coming out of their factories is ridiculous with the quality, ridiculously bad. And they don't seem to freaking care. But they get probably paid a shitload of money. I guarantee you, if they broke that union and started paying those people what they're worth for putting out that product, you want to put out if you want to really get paid, put out a better fucking product. But they're not doing it. They're not doing it. And I'm just being 100% honest with you. And like I said before, I'm all America, baby. I moved to Wyoming because it's the only last area, this whole Midwest area, and the Wild West, Texas, Oklahoma, Wyoming, Nebraska, Idaho, Oklahoma, all those. We moved out here because of America, because the East Coast is shit and the West Coast is shit. All right. I served this country. I did my time. I'm all America. I want to see America come back, especially their firearms industry. But I'm telling you right now, TSOS is passing them by, and give them another 10 years and you won't even be complaining about being Turkish. And this same crowd, similar, because that crowd's probably older, was the same crowd complaining about Chinese AKs back then. It's Chinese junk. Turns out, no. Like Polytech and the rest of those, they're actually very well-made firearms. Very well-made. And now they go for a mint on the collector's market. And after all the atrocities China has done and continues to do to people, and you'll buy Chinese firearms. If Chinese ammo was still able to be imported and came into the country, you're buying that cheap but then you're going to come into my country. That's the only thing to say, is recognize that you participate in all this too. And avoid coming in my comment section and Turkish and I'm not buying. Fine. You don't even have to leave a comment, because I don't really care what you spend your money on. I don't care. But recognize that you are virtue signaling because the phone you have in your pocket is made with slave labor. Either that or all the rare earth metals and the batteries and everything else. Somehow in the chain, somebody is being exploited to get you that phone, to get you that electric car, to get you that electric drill. Because again, batteries require a lot of rare earth metals and cobalt and a bunch of other shit. And it's all mined. Right now, it's the majority of it's mined in Africa. Yeah, and they have no safety conditions and nobody gives a flying fuck as long as they get it. But then these gun snobs going to come in and they go after, I mean, come on, man. The list is endless. Endless. You'll have a whole collection of HKs, right? Even though HK said they fucking hate us civilians. They don't want to sell guns to us anyway. But you'll have a whole collection of World War II Walthers, which is probably used to kill somebody in a slave labor camp. And you're like, fucking TSOS. Really? Really? Last time I remember, we never went to war with Turkey yet, at least. Like I said, they're a member of NATO, but we never went to war with Turkey. So their guns were never, at least in recent history, were never pointed back at us. But you'll go and you'll collect Japanese guns, which probably used to kill GIs. I'm just using these examples. I don't care. I don't care because I don't want to go back into the history. If I like the gun, I'm buying the gun. I don't give a shit where it comes from, how much it costs, whatever. But this is to the people that are coming into my comments and complaining about Turkey and Turkish firearms. That's fine. It's 100% your choice whether you buy them or not. I'm not trying to force anybody, and I'm not trying to tell you to buy them. But what I am telling you is, look in the mirror before you leave a stupid comment on my channel about how Turkey screws people over on your slave labor made phone, with your slave labor made TV, and your slave labor made appliances. And you can't, I don't care who you are watching this video. You are not, I can go through your house and in one room probably find 100 things made in China. It's just a fact. It's a reality. I'll go into your gun safe and I'll find shit. I'll be like, oh, that's interesting right there. That communist Russian AK, a real one? Is that a, you know, and most people I don't think care. It's just the ones that come in and try to virtue signal to me in the comments about buying a Turkish gun. You know what? Tell you the truth, the people probably commenting that don't own guns anyway. And even if they did, like I said, we'll go through your gun collection and we can pick out how many freaking guns are made from countries that did foul shit to people. because it's just a fact of life. But there it is, guys. Let me know what you think about virtue signaling. Maybe give me a couple more examples down below. Again, this is not to all you guys that watch the videos and enjoy the videos. And again, let me reiterate, I honestly don't give a shit what you spend your money on and what guns you buy. I review the stuff that I buy that I think's cool. And if it fails and you decide not to buy it, don't. If it does great and you decide to buy it, fine. I don't care what you spend your money on. But just recognize that every freaking gun from different countries, these gun manufacturers probably have some type of jaded past with their country, or they're tied to some foul shit that their country did, like these people are claiming Turkey did. And I don't deny that. I'm not a fan of Turkey. I don't know any Turkish people. I'm not a fan of Turkey in general. I'm a fan of low-priced, high-quality firearms. And that's what TSOS is offering right now. And they're innovating too. That's the difference. They're innovating. They're offering a lot of different new products. But again, don't care what you spend your money on. Just don't come into my comments and give me a whole page, whole diatribe about how Turkey is the freaking, epitome of evil incarnate and all this stuff, and I shouldn't buy their guns, because I'll go through your gun safe and give you so many examples. My favorite one is, not even the gun safe, my favorite one is, like, the phone that you were typing this on was made with Chinese slave labor, but you gonna come in and try to lecture me about buying Turkish guns. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.